Israel's attacks on Lebanon have forced many people to flee their homes and cross into Syria. The UN says about 50,000 people have made the journey. Israel has been bombarding the Bekaa Valley in Lebanon's east, parts of which are seen as strongholds of Hezbollah. Well, Baig is on the Lebanon-Syria border crossing of Masnaa. What are you seeing where you are?
Well, in the last hour or so, I've seen hundreds of people crossing this border into Syria. We've spoken to many people who say, many of them are Syrians, in fact, who have been displaced from Syria, have spent their lives here and now are going back because they'd rather take the chances back in Syria in the face of increased Israeli bombing and a possible ground operation. But we've also heard from the Lebanese civil defense that 9 Syrians were killed in the town of Ain, which is in Baig district. Now, Israel says that they are targeting Hezbollah strongholds here in Bekaa Valley, what they believe are weapons depots or launch sites or any other infrastructure along the border, because the Bekaa Valley does neighbor on Syria, and they believe that this is a route that Hezbollah uses to bring weapons in. But as I said, hundreds of people in the last hour or so, and the UNHCR said 50,000 people have crossed over in the last few days. Now, if I can just step aside and hopefully our cameraman Jamil can show you some. This is the Lebanese side. What tends to happen is that vehicles drop off people in coaches or minivans or cars, and what we've seen is people carrying their belongings, children carrying bags. We've seen fathers saying goodbye to their children. We spoke to one father who was in tears, and his children were in tears because they're saying goodbye to him, going to Syria. Some people are going to live with family and friends. Other people have nowhere else to go. But really, that's the situation along the border here in Lebanon.
Asad, give us a sense of how desperate some of these people must be, because Syria, of course, it's in the middle of a war as well. It's a difficult place to live in, and yet these people feel they need to leave Lebanon to go back to where they came from.
It's desperate because some of these children that we're seeing have known nothing else except Lebanon. They were born here. Many people have been working. We spoke to some people that have come from the south of Lebanon. But also when they hear Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu talk about Hezbollah, saying that people have weapons in the kitchens in here in Lebanon and in schools and churches, and they've seen what's taken place in Gaza. And so when they fear a further escalation or an all-out war, they feel that there's nowhere safe for them here, that even in their refugee camps where they've grown up in, or where they're working, or in their homes, that they may become targets and their fate may resemble what's been taking place in Gaza. So they'd rather take their chances back in Syria. And it's not just Syrians that are leaving. We've spoken to Lebanese families also crossing the border into Syria, saying we'll take our chances in Syria rather than in Lebanon, because if this expands, all of us could end up dead.
OK, thank you for that. Baig there for us on the Lebanon-Syria border.
Make sure to subscribe to our channel to get the latest news from Al Jazeera.